and gentlemen, boys and girls, TFI CAD Tips broadcasting to you from the nation soon to be formerly known as the United Kingdom, where our ancestors, our gramps and grandmas, have just voted us out of the EU. Their small-minded, flag-waving patriotism. They want the remaining 5 to 10 years of their life to be spent with EU citizen not on their passport. Ergo, however, what they've done is screwed up the financial future and prosperity of their grandchildren. The people who they're supposed to be looking out for, and they've completely shit all over us. So we need some guidance in a time like this, and TFI's got your back, mate. And I thought, what do the kids these days relate more to than Minecraft, mate? So I googled Minecraft, and a bunch of images came up, and this thing here looks like a good place to start. So in the interest of disclosure, I've never played Minecraft before in my life. I know this to be a sword made of blocks. It might have a proper name, but I don't know what that is. I've never played it before in my life, but so it looks like something good to 3D model. So I'm using Inventor 2017. You could do this in Fusion 360, I guess. But let's get started. Right, you could do this as an assembly, but it would be a very boring assembly tutorial, just putting blocks together. So I'll do it as a single part. So let's get started. Everything's default. I'm using the default project. Everything's out of the box settings. So we'll start with a new IPT. I'm not going to be explaining everything as I go either. That'll take forever. It's going to be a long tutorial already as it is. So I'll explain a few things as I go, but not like, you know, in total detail. I'm using a 3D mouse, so if you see me navigating the screen with ease and fluency, I'm using a 3D mouse, which you won't have if you're starting from scratch. So you'll press F4 and then hold down the left mouse button to zoom in orbit and stuff like that, or middle wheel to zoom in and zoom out, or hold down the left mouse button on the cube. That'll do it as well. So let's get started. Right, let's go back to the home and start with a sketch on the XY plane. Right. Click the front of the cube, and we're going to start at the bottom. Right, I mean, this thing doesn't exist, right? So there's no sizes for it. We don't care how we model it because it does. We're not going to make it. We're just doing this for aesthetics, just to get used to the program and just a bit of practice with the program. But I'm going to start at the bottom and work up. You could start at the middle and then work out, but I'm going to start at this block down here and then work up. So let's get cracking. Right then, right, petite. Let's start with a polygon, and we'll make it a 4-sided polygon. And we'll drop it down here. Right, I haven't actually done this yet, so I'm making it up as I go. I'm going to make mistakes, which is, I suppose that's good for the beginner to see someone who's used, I've used Inventor for like over 10 years. I know the program inside out, but even people like me make mistakes as we go. We don't model anything without making mistakes and learning from it. You don't just know how to do something straight off the bat. You will make mistakes, and you will find, and that's where the experience comes in, is when you do come across a problem, it's it's having the experience to know how to come over it and knowing what options you've got to get around that problem. That's where the experience comes in, and that's where most people who are starting out don't have that. But you get it from doing stuff like this. Right, so we've got a 4-sided polygon, which is just sort of floating in space. So we need to put some dimensions on it, and because it doesn't exist, we're free to make this any size we want. So let's put a dimension. Right, that's not going to be a true size of the edge because that's a delta dimension, so we can just move it down, click left mouse button, and we'll get an aligned dimension, and we're going to call this block size, and we're going to make it 50 mil. So block size equals 50 mil, and that sort of makes the square a uniform size. Then we can put a vertical constraint from there to there, and that just aligns them up. Right, because we're going to be reusing this profile a lot. I mean, the whole damn thing's made up of that block. The whole thing is that, essentially, that square. So what we're going to do is create a block, and we're going to call this block. And then the geometry, we need to tell it what's in the block, so it's all of that. Is that selected? Yeah. And then the insertion point, right, it's not going to be the middle. It's going to be a corner point, because we're going to be placing this block over and over again. So you don't want to place it at the middle. You want to place it at an edge to sort of snap it onto other blocks. So we're going to put the insertion point down there, and then OK. Right, so if I just delete that, you can go up to the browser, then you've got blocks, and you can right click on that as the block we've just made, place block, and then you can see the insertion points, that bottom corner. Jolly good. OK, right, let's put this in place. So we're going to make another vertical constraint between the edge there and the center of the part. So that little yellow dot there, that's the center of the model. That doesn't necessarily, not necessarily, it doesn't correlate to the center of the sword at all, but we're going to use that line running down there. That's going to be the center line of the sword. So we're going to make everything symmetrical around that line, which is consistent through the entire part. But this block is now placed, and it's sort of free to rotate around like that, but you can see the edge is constrained to that center line. which is fine, So we can just put a vertical constraint between there and then there. Right click and OK, and then this will now move up and down that edge. Okay, right. The next thing we can do is right. We need to right, because that's not the center of the part. I don't really care too much about where this is in relation to that center point, so I'm just going to leave it sort of about there. That'll do. And we'll finish the sketch, and we'll extrude it. We'll extrude. So this creates our first solid. So we're going to, for the height of the block, we'll make it uniform. So we'll make everything 50 by 50 by 50. So the extrusion size is going to be block size. You could type in 50, but we've got a parameter already called block size, so we'll reuse that. And then okay, so the reason why I've done that is if you press this little FX button here, you'll see there's block size, which is 50 mil. So if we were to just say, right, well actually we want the block sizes to be, I don't know, 100, it'll then increase all the sizes to 100 rather than have to go back and edit 3 dimensions separately. Okay, right, let's do another sketch on our XY plane. Right, and then what we need to do now is, so this block here is this block, which it's blended all the blocks into one sort of square of blocks here, like a ring of blocks, but this is actually this bottom block around here. So we need to pattern them around in a square. So let's do that. So we need to create the path. So in our new sketch on the XY plane, let's press F7, slices the graphics, and I need to draw another polygon. So let's look straight down, makes things easier to draw. We'll do another polygon and dimension on there. Same as again, just click on that edge, and then we'll make that 100 mil. Vertical constraint between there and then there. And then, right, this point here needs to go at the center of that block. But you see there's nothing to snap onto at the center of that block, which is a nuisance. So if we project the cut edges, that doesn't give us the point in the middle. So what I can do, there might be a better way of doing this, but this is just my sort of default go-to way that I do things, is I draw a construction line right the way through the middle of the square, and then the center point there is the center of the square, so I just drop a point on that green dot there. There you go. And that little point there is the center of the block, and then we can coincidentally constrain that, not the edge, escape, we can coincidentally constrain that to there. And then that's now the path that we're going to pattern this block around. Okie dokie. Right, let's finish that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to... have I got that right? Yes, I have got that right. Right, we'll do a rectangular pattern of that block. The direction is going to be that path. The spacing is going to be the curve length. And we want 8 blocks patterned around the path. Boom. There you go. Right, so that's the bottom ring of squares. Right, but you can see this block here is a sort of different size. It's a different color, it's just a slightly different block, so we're going to make that a different block. So we're going to expand the pattern, and we're going to find the occurrence at the top, that one there, and we're going to right click on him and then suppress him out. And then you can see that opens us up to create another block down there. So let's do that. And we've also got a blue block in the middle there, which we can do. Oh, in fact, we'll do that one now, right? So these blocks here are going to, the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to model, everything's going to be the same size. They're all the same size blocks, kind of, but I'm going to separate them out in color. So this will be like dark blue, light blue, aqua, something like that, just so we can differentiate the different color blue blocks. So in the solid bodies folder over on the left, these blocks here are going to be called dark blue. And then what we can do is change their color. So we need to create a color that's appropriate to these blocks. So let's go to the appearances, and this is what I mean by this is quite a good tutorial, because even though it is blocks, we're starting to now meander off into different areas of Inventor which you need to know about in order to get shit done. So we need to copy an existing, because the Inventor doesn't come with, like, it would be nice if it just had a palette of red, blue, black, green, blue, but it kind of does, but not the colors that we want. So what I'm going to do is take a copy of Nylon 6, and we're going to add that to the document materials, right? If you're not seeing the same textures as what I'm seeing here, right, you need to click the drop down and then make sure you've got Inventor Material Library, Autodesk Appearance Library, and Autodesk Material Library all there. You should do, if everything's default, you should have those 3 active. If not, then that's, I can't tell you how to fix that. It's a different thing for a different video. It's a bit of an awkward thing to do. But we've got nylon 6 in the document, so we're going to edit nylon 6, and we're going to call this, let's call this dark blue. This is awful, this bloody material appearance editor. It is what it is, but it's bloody awful. And then we'll change this name. Just highlight it. This is what I'm saying about it being awful. Dark blue. Right. The rest of the stuff just doesn't matter. The generic material, invented, blah, all this keyword stuff doesn't actually, it doesn't mean anything. But for the color, we're going to want a custom colors, and then we're going to try and match it to this sort of darky, sort of turquoisey sort of blue. It doesn't have to be exact, really doesn't. But it's probably more on that sort of scale. I'm going to pull that down to kind of about there. Add that to the custom colors, pick that, and then that is it's nearly what you see here isn't the same as what you see on screen either. It's because Inventor then applies lighting to it and stuff, and it changes slightly. But you if you want to be exactly the same as me, you can. My RGB value, red, green, and blue, is 4090-128. So you can go into custom colors and you can just type in 4090-128 in there if you want the exact same color as me. But later on in the tutorial, we can then change like the reflectivity, and we can maybe put a bump map, like a texture on it if we want to later. So I'll apply that, and then there's dark blue done. We're going to come back to this. We're going to make similar colors for light blue, light brown, dark brown, and stuff like that. But we'll do that as when we come to it, rather than just sort of meandering off in one go. So dark blue, right? So we're going to go to the dark blue block, and we're going to put the properties of that solid body in there, and we're going to change the body appearance to dark blue. There it is, and then you can see there. So it hasn't quite translated. It's a little bit lighter because the Inventor scene lights are reflecting off it, so it's not the exact same color as it was in the appearance editor, but it's fine. It's fine. It's dark, and it's going to be darker than the other blues we make, so that's fine. Okay, so we're going to do another sketch on the XY plane, and this block is going to be this one in the middle here. So it's if you look at the image, you can see there is a very subtle shadow running around that block, which suggests that this one is raised slightly higher than these blocks. So we'll start with an F7 to slice the graphics, and then we'll project the cut edges, and then place our block into here, and then just snap onto there. This is why I didn't use the center of the block as the insertion point, because I can use that point there to snap it in place. Finish the sketch, and then we can extrude that middle section up by the mid plane, so we can now make this any size we want. So what I think I'll do is we'll make it block size, and then we'll add 10 mil. We'll add 10 mil onto it, so it raises it up sort of 5 mil that way and 5 mil that way. Okay, all right. No, we're not. We're going to edit that again, and we're going to make this. So just double click it on that, and just double click on it in the browser, and then we're going to click this button here, and that makes it a new solid. Right, so we're in the browser now. We've got solid 2, which is this extrusion, and we're going to change its name to. All right. Well, this isn't the lightest blue. This is sort of a. We'll call it medium blue because there is a lighter blue. We'll call this medium blue, and then we're going to go back to the appearance editor. We'll take the dark blue, we'll duplicate that, and we'll call this medium. Come on, Neil, you can spell medium blue. Right, click the pencil, and then so it's got its name, medium blue. And then for the color, define custom colors, and we'll just drag this up, and we'll make it about there, maybe. I mean, we can pull it off, I suppose. It's got more of an aqua feel to it, and then add that to the custom colors. It doesn't matter if it overwrites that one, because that color is already cached into the other texture, so it's fine. So we're going to use that one, 71.162.201 if you want to copy that, and then apply, and then cancel, and there's our medium blue done. So we can go. Oh, it's already. How has it done that? What? Well, I did. Well, I'll be god. That. How has it picked that up already? I wasn't expecting that, but fine. Okay. Oh well. Right. So this next block is the light brown block here, and you can see this one. There's a shadow there, so this one looks like it's recessed slightly inwards to these blocks, which I don't know if I should have made these ones bigger and that one smaller. Does it matter? Probably not. Probably not. Right. Let's In fact, yes, let's go back to extrusion 1, right, and let's make this block size +5, right. Okay, that's block size +5, so that gap there is now a little bit smaller, but it's fine, it doesn't matter. So let's do a 2D sketch on the XY plane, and F7 again, and project cut edges. If you can't see project cut edges, just click the down arrow, it's on this drop down here. Project cut edges, and then we're going to place the sketch block. We're going to be repeating this a hell of a lot of times. So we're going to place the block, and then don't click on the center, you want to drop it there, and then finish that sketch, extrude that there. This is going to be another new solid, and then this one is just going to be just normal block size, mid plane, and then this is our light brown block. So this one here is this light brown block there. Okay, so we're going to rename this one to light brown. We're going to go back to appearances again, medium blue, duplicate, rename this one to light brown, and then pencil, click the color swatch, define custom colors. Right, it's hard to find brown. It's probably going to be over here somewhere. There we go. And then light brown. Suppose it's like a chocolatey kind of color. Actually, it's more of like a reddy sort of brown. It's a bit darker than that. It doesn't. Like I say, it doesn't matter really because it's not gonna look exactly like that in session. So I'll click him, and then apply, and then cancel, and then there you go. It's selected it again. Fine. I'm fine with that. I'll do. Okay. Right. So we need 3 of these blocks. So we've got that one there. So we need that one and that one. So we can pattern this. So we can do a rectangular pattern of this block. The direction is going to be our y-axis going that way, and then for the distance we're going to measure between that point there, which is the corner of the block, and then that point there, and that gives us the exact distance that we need to pattern it. And then we want 3 of them, and okay, there you go. So there's our light brown blocks. It should join them all together. So it's they're all now part of the light brown solid. So there's light brown, there's medium blue, and there's dark blue there. So we're all gravy. Okay, right. So now we need to do the darker brown blocks, which are these on the either side of the sword grip. These again, there's a shadow there, so it looks like these are slightly recessed in. I'm not going to stick to that religiously. It's not that important. You can change this as much as you want as you go. But let's sketch on XY. I'm saying you can change this. I know exactly what it's like when you're trying to learn a brand new program and the instructor goes, "Oh, you're free to do whatever you want here. You know, just do how you please." And you're like, Mother Hubbard, I'm trying to learn here. Just tell me what I need to do and I'll follow you. I don't know enough. I'm not confident enough to just go off on a tangent and do my own thing. That's why I'm watching a beginner's tutorial, mate. So I'll stop saying that because I know how moronic it is when people say that. Right. So we're going to repeat and place this block. And we're going to drop him onto there, so just make sure we get the endpoint there. I suppose, right, what we could do, rather than pattern them, should we? Yeah, we should pattern them. I mean, I could place a block there, and then there, and then extrude them all up in one go, but that's not best practice. Best practice is to keep your sketches as simple as possible, and then create your solids using 3D features. So I'll stick to best practice, and we'll OK that. Finish that, extrude him, and then this one, like I said, there was a bit of a recess. This is going to be another new solid, so you could say block -5 mil, make it like that. Yeah, yes, that'll do. Right, and that's another new solid. So this solid is going to be the dark brown blocks. So we're going to go back to, I'm assuming it's automatically selecting the texture because we've got the solid body picked. I didn't know it did that. I didn't know it did that, but fine. It's good that it does. So we're going to copy light brown and we're going to make this dark brown. Pencil, dark brown. Click the swatch, define custom colors, and we'll just drag this arrow down to about there. Add the custom colors. It's maybe a bit too black, but you can see it's still brown, so that's fine. Apply, and then there you go. Yeah, I like that. That looks good. Right, so now we need to create that one and then that one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pattern it to there and then mirror these two over to there. So let's do that. That's pattern, rectangular pattern, that block. Directions, same again, y-axis. Spacing, measure, so you need to make sure you're getting the right point, which is there to there. I'm probably doing the pattern wrong. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to get too complicated. Right, so we're going to do those two. There you go. So that's put it in the right place, and then we're going to mirror that pattern. And the mirror plane is going to be that there. So that's the center line running through the part. And then it's going to send them over to there. There you go. It's looking good, isn't it? It's looking quite crisp. I'm enjoying that. I'm enjoying that look. Right. So the next blocks that we need to do is we're going to do... Let's do that one there. It doesn't really matter which order you do them in, as long as you know where you're headed. It doesn't really matter which order we do them in. So let's do another sketch on the XY plane. Again F7, and then project cut edges. I'm doing project cut edges, and it's projecting all of this stuff down here. So it's giving us all these lines down here that we don't need. If I just undo that, what you could do is just do project geometry and then just project the edges that you need. But because we're sketching through the middle of the block, you have to project the bottom faces, which isn't. It's just easier just to do that. It doesn't matter that we've got all these lines down here and we're only using this point. Doesn't matter at all. Right, place block. We're going to drop him and snap him there, and then we're going to finish that sketch. We're going to extrude that, and then this is going to be, again, just looking at the image. There's a shadow there, and then there isn't a shadow between them two, so I'm assuming that this one's raised higher than these, and I'm going to lose track of which ones I've like went -5 and -10 on. But again, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Right, because this is medium blue. So we've already got a medium blue block. So we're going to have to join this block with this block in terms of its position in the browser. So we're going to select solids and we're going to pick that one there, and it makes sure that this block is part of the same group as this block here. We're going to go mid plane. So let's do block size plus 5, and that should raise it slightly above. It's joined with that one. We're good. Click OK. There we go. OK. So now we need to fill in these two here. So these are dark brown blocks, and they're at the same level as that one. So sketch again. So this is where it starts to get a little bit repetitive. We've done the majority of the monkey work where we're having to like make colors and do parameters and stuff. So this is there's going to be a lot of kind of repetition from this point on, but that's fine. You can just follow me as I'm doing it. Nobody ever said 3D modeling was supposed to be sexy. So let's finish that and then extrude that. And then the solids, this one is part of the dark blue blocks, mid plane, and then let's make sure is that equal. Yep, that's flush with the light brown blocks. And then okay, right. So what I'm going to do, rather than just mirror it, like for every block that I do, mirror it over, I'm going to do this entire left hand side of the sword wing, whatever it's called, I don't know what it's called, and then mirror this entire region over to that side. So let's start by building the rest of these blocks. Okay, right. I might cheat. Might cheat in some places here, I don't know. I'm just, I haven't got a plan. Let's do a new sketch on the XY plane, F7 again. And these are going to be the medium blue blocks. So project cut edges, place a sketch block, one there, and then one there. Right, I know I said we shouldn't join them together, but this one is, you can see these two blocks are kind of already joined together, so it's fine, it's fine. Let's extrude these two together, and they're going to solids. They're going to be part of that group, mid plane, and there is a shadow. There's a bit of a shadow there, but it's hard to tell. They're raised above them, that blue block. So let's zoom in a bit further. Right, so we'll say block size plus 5 again. and then OK. Alright, another sketch down here, and F7, project cut edges, place a block down there, and then this one is going to be, tell you what, purely in the interests of making this go faster, because we'll be here all day, I am going to cheat and I'm going to create multiple blocks in one sketch. This isn't the way you should do it, but it's going to take forever if I don't do this. Right, when you place in your sketch blocks as well, you see this little projection arrow here, you try and avoid clicking the mouse button and placing the block when you see that there, or else it'll fix the block on that edge and it'll stop you from placing it where you want it to go. These are really annoying, but they can be useful at times, so I'm not going to turn them off. So just place it in a position where you're not getting any alignment lines. So we'll do one there, and then this one here. Okay, and then I'm going to do a coincident constraint. We're going to snap that to there. Right, and what these are, so them two blocks there are them two blocks there. That is that, and then these two here are these two here. Right, should probably, whilst we're at it, I'm going to do these two as well. Just, I'm going to, yeah, I am blatantly cheating here, but at this point, it's like, I need to make this as sort of quick as possible, really, or I'll go on for bloody ever. So we'll do that to there, and then to there, and then let's constrain that to there. Right. Okay, finish that sketch, and then wherever there's a dot, that's the center of the profile. So we're going to do an extrusion from that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, and that one. And then solids, these are part of the dark blue group. We're going to go mid plane, and these are slightly recessed down, so we're going to do just block size like that, and then OK. And then we need one more block in the middle, which is a medium blue. That one there. So that was raised slightly higher than the other ones. So sketch in there, F7. I should probably stop saying F7. I think by this point you probably get the picture. And then place him in there. Okay. And extrude him. Solid. And there you go. Mid plane. And this one's +5, isn't it? Okay, right. So that's the grip. Well, that side of the grip done. So we've got that region, that middle block, those two either side, that region there. So what we can do now is mirror that over to that side, and that should give us a complete bottom half of the sword. So mirror, and we're going to pick that, all of them, that and that. Not that one, because he's in the middle already. I'm going to mirror across, mirror plane is going to be that center line, and then okay, boom. Right, well that's not worked out very well. Okay, so what it's done is it's joined these light blue blocks together, which is not what I was wanting to do. So we'll do this in two separate operations. So we'll undo that. We'll do a mirror of that, mirroring it across that, and there you go. And then we'll do another mirror between that and then that, mirror plane, and there you go. All right, so there's the bottom half of the sword done. It's looking pretty. I'm enjoying that. That's a nice aesthetic. It's a nice aesthetic. I'm liking that. It's looking better than the picture, if I do say so myself. Right, so now we need to do the upper half of the sword, the blade. So we've got a new color in the frame here, which is a lighter blue. So we've got dark, medium, blue. So that's the light blue. But we're starting off with the medium blue here, and you can see that's quite recessed down past these dark blue blocks. So let's get cracking with that one there. 2D sketch, XY plane, and project the geometry, place a block in to here. Alright, and then let's finish that. I should probably be telling funny stories as I'm doing this, and amusing anecdotes, just to try and keep people entertained as I'm doing this, but even though this is a really simple thing to do, you need concentration. I need to concentrate as I'm doing it, or else I'll just end up making properly goofball mistakes. It's -5 on that one. Is that recessed down enough? Yeah, I think it is. I don't want to make these too small. And right, so what we need to do now is pattern that. You can see there's like a line of them going up here. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we need 9 of them. And that one looks slightly higher. It doesn't matter. We'll sort that one out later. So we need 9 of them. So we're going to pattern that up the y-axis. The distance is going to be a measure between there and then there. And then we want 9 of them. Boom. Look at that. Got it. Okay. Right, so now we need to create the new block. So this is the light blue block. So we're going to sketch on XY again. And then project edges, and then place the block. And then this one goes in there, doesn't it? Yes, this one goes in here. And then extrude that. Right, so this is a new solid, so we're going to click that new solid button there. So this is going to be light blue. It's at the same, it's sort of flush with the rest of the blade. So let's just OK on that, and then we're going to name this one light blue. And then back to the appearance editor, take medium blue, duplicate it, call this light blue, pencil, same again. I suppose it's good that there's a lot of repetition here, because then it sort of it lets everyone know who's new to it that you don't often do things sort of unique to the situation. There is a lot of generic things that apply to different scenarios. So that's similar. Is that a similar sort of blue? So we're going for that to that. It could be a bit paler, but the paler you get on this scale, it's getting closer to white, isn't it? And we'll just leave it about there. That'll do. Right, add to the custom colors. It's a very pale blue. Apply. Yeah, it's sort of borderline white, but well, when we do a final render of this, it might be fine. It might be fine. Right. So let's count how many we need. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of these. So we're going to pattern, rectangular pattern that. Direction is Y, so we want 8. And the distance, measure from there to there. There you go. That slots that last one right in place. Okay, and then we want to mirror them over to that side. So rectangular pattern, those. It's not a pattern, mirror. Those mirror plane. There you go. Oh, it's looking lovely. Oh, I'm enjoying that. I'm enjoying that. Okay, right. So now we need to do these are the medium blues. Is it yeah, it's medium blues, and these are sort of recessed down again. You can see the shadow there. So let's sketch through the. So the you youngsters that are following along, I hope this is making up for the fact that your parents hate you. By voting, I'm saying that it's for the English people, anyone in the UK. Your parents hating you and voting you out of the EU. This is you're doing your bit for your own future, because your parents have screwed up or have severely hindered your future job prospects by voting us out of the EU. I've put that in the wrong place. This is what happens when I start talking. Right, so we need to undo, and then place this block. It's actually going to go on that one there. Finish sketch. Right, I'll stop talking about things that aren't related to this, because you do need to concentrate. This is solids is going to be, this is medium blue, isn't it? It's those lot there. Mid plane, and these ones are, did I click the right solid there? No, I don't think I did. Cancel. Start again. Extrude. That there, solid. It's not that one. It is that one. Right, yes, it is that one. And then this one's recessed down. I think this one's recessed even further down again, so we'll do minus 10. Okay, it's getting a bit thin. Doesn't matter. Okay. Right, and then we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It will count that one, so we'll make that 8. Rectangular pattern. Direction is going to be the y-axis again, 8, and then for the distance, again from there to there. Right. Okay, and then we can mirror. I'm not happy with the color of these against them, but it's not important. It's not important. It's just not reflecting what the image is. And we'll mirror those across there. Right then, so what we need to do now is the pointer on the top, which isn't going to be too difficult. We can just again cheat. We'll just cheat. We could do this with a pattern, but it would be unnecessarily complicated. Unnecessarily complicated? Gracias. Unnecessarily complicate. Apologies to Russian or Kazakhstan viewers. That was it was an homage. It was an homage to your I actually really do like that accent. It's quite a pleasant and satisfying accent to do. Let's do. So we'll place this block here, here, and then here. Okay, so there's the tip. And extrude that, and that. And then for solids, they're joining them both ways. Yep, they're on the same level. And then there you go. Okay, right. So there's this. That's it done. It is done, right? So there's a couple of things just to tidy up. So I said at the start that this face here is raised above slightly. So, and it also, I don't know if it's just the blockiness, the pixelated effect of the sword, but it looks like there's it's like a beveled edge. I don't know. Well, let's do that. Let's do that. Why not? Right. Let's do a sketch on that face. We'll project geometry. There you go. Finish that sketch, and we'll extrude that up. And basically, all we're doing here is we're just adding a tiny bit of material. That's maybe a bit too much. Let's change that to 2.5. Okay. And then if it is a beveled edge, let's do a chamfer, which is how you do a beveled edge. 2 mil is going to be too much. Let's make that 1 mil. There, and there. Puts a beveled edge. Was 2 mil too much? Let's try what a 2 mil look like. 2.5. Is it gonna blend? Yeah, it will blend. That looks quite nice. I'm enjoying that. That's nice. I like it. Okay. Right then, is there anything else we need to do? Well, potentially that looks, because it's Minecraft and all, it's child friendly. That looks like it's got a beveled edge as well. In fact, all of these look like they've got beveled edges. Right. Okay. Let's chamfer that. Let's make this child friendly. Child-friendly sword. If you put too many beveled edges on, you end up with blending errors. There you go. I've got a blending error. See, the preview's turned off. It's because it can't blend this edge here. So I'll keep those like that. I suppose that is the pointy end of the sword. Okay, right, and we'll keep those at 2.5 mil. That'll do. Do we care if these are beveled? I don't think I care. I don't think I care if these ones aren't beveled. If you want to, you can do a chamfer on all of these. Well, not that one. It's on the other side of the square. There. But you're going to have to just carry on doing all the edges until you can get it to a point where it will actually physically solve the chamfers. I think 2.5 mil is too big for those, so you might have to drop it down to 1. Even 1's too small. Yeah, it's not solving those, so we'll just leave those off. Okay, well there you go. There's our sword complete. So a couple of things, well, I should probably save it. I should have saved it long before now, but let's call this the Minecraft sword. And I think all we've got left to do now is render it. But actually, if you look at this image, yeah, you can see this sword's kind of leaning off to one side a little bit. I mean, you could just sort of move the camera like that. That's not strictly true. So if we look front on, right, if you look front on, let's go to the view tab and then switch on the ground plane. Right, there's the ground. So that's where shadows are going to be cast. So the sword is looking upright, poking out of the ground like that. If you want it to be at an angle like that, right, there's a way of doing this quite easily. So we can go back to the 3D model tab. We can go to direct edit. We want to go to rotate. We want to change faces to solids. And we want to pick all of the solids. Is that them all? Nope, there's one of them in the middle. There's the light brown and the dark brown ones in there. Right, so we want to rotate these, but we want to rotate them not around the middle. We want to change and locate the rotation axis to that bottom edge, and then you want to grab this axis here, and then you want to pull it like that to, I would say, 10 degrees. So it's going to rotate it like that, and then click apply. Hey, look at that. Yeah, it's true to life. I'm missing quite a few. I'm thinking it is quite pixelated, so it's hard to tell, but I'm thinking these edges might be chamfered as well. But you can actually, we've already done that in this tutorial. I said it before that it's not good in a tutorial to say you can go off and do whatever you want, but we have actually already done chamfers, so you can just chamfer these edges if you want to make it a bit more true to the actual image. But I'm not going to. Right then, let's get a nice pretty picture. We've actually done this now, so we've got the solids in place. Let's make a pretty picture. So let's go to View and turn off the ground plane. You don't need the ground plane on for shadows. It's just really for just verifying that the ground is where it should be. And let's change the camera to perspective. So we're on the View tab there. Change the camera to perspective, which puts a bit of, if you change it, you can see what it's doing. It's adding perspective to the camera. And then we can make this a realistic appearance. Realistic turns off all the edges and just assists with the rest of what we need to do. So which is turning on the shadows. It's starting to look good now. So we can start to see those raised edges now are creating the shadows. If you're not happy with how many shadows or the strength of the shadows that are being made, we can edit the shadows by going to the settings. And then what you see here, these sort of edges in the, or the shadows which are in between blocks, that's ambient shadows. So you can just like see there. I mean, if you want it to be just totally gangster looking, you can just drag it all the way up, but it's probably a bit too strong. So let's make that 75. Save and close. Boom. It's looking pretty good. For the environment, let's put it in. Let's put it in the photo booth, and then edit the settings of the photo booth and turn on the scene image, which gives it a nice white background, so that's closer to that. And then I suppose at this point we can just enable ray trace. I'm just trying to get it so it's fitting in the graphics window. About there. Hit ray tracing. Actually, let's disable that. Let's turn on reflections. So we'll get a reflection at the bottom, because that's what that image has got at the bottom there. And then ray tracing, high. And there's our Minecraft sword, all done. Oh, that was a long one. That was a bit tedious, wasn't it? That was a bit tedious. So that's ray tracing away. Fortunately, we can, because we've made some of the faces of the blocks raised. We're getting a nice effect sort of down here and in there, where you've got the raised faces. I'm liking that. That's looking pretty sexual. That is for a Minecraft sword. For a Minecraft sword, that's looking pretty good. So you can just leave that ray tracing. It's now at a point on my system where although it's still in rough, there's no pixelation really going on there. So it's looking pretty. It's a bit dark though. It is a bit dark. So let's disable that. Let's go to the settings, and in the environment, lighting, exposure. Let's just raise that up slightly to about there. Let's see, there you go. That's a little bit better. That's a little bit better. So that's what it looks like with a white background. If you want it to interact with its environment, if you want the model to kind of see reflections and stuff, then you can go to let's drop it in the Stuttgart courtyard, yeah. And now I've just insulted all the German viewers. Awesome. What I'm not enjoying is the fact that this shadow here is moving around, sort of creepily following the camera, as if the camera's the light source. Let's change that. So let's go back into shadows, lighting. That's where I want to be. The relative movement is going to be based on the view cube. There you go. All right. So let's get it about there. Ray tracing. There you go. Right, the reflection's not working. The concrete floor's got a reflection. It doesn't matter. There you go. Right, there's the tutorial done and indeed dusted. There's all sorts you could do with it from this point on, but I think I've went on for long enough. This is probably about 45 minutes long. I haven't actually been watching the clock. But there's the sword done, modelled in Minecraft blocks. Yeah, we'll just knock it on the head there. So it's looking pretty nice. I'm enjoying that. I would say it looks better than this one. You can see, because we've got ray tracing enabled, we've got the shadows, sort of the object shadows and the ambient shadows working in the grooves and in the gaps there. So it's looking nice. I'm enjoying that. I'm enjoying that. That was a nice tutorial to do. Hopefully giving the future of our former United Kingdom some hope after they've been shit on by their elders. There's a petition. There's a petition to go and reverse the decision, but we'll leave politics out of this. It's a bit late to be saying that, but anyway, right, we'll knock on the head there. Thanks, guys. Hope you enjoyed that tutorial, modelling the Minecraft sword. What I might do is one, you know, just because I thought that was quite useful. If you want to, you can then. It was a decision between the sword and the pickaxe. I chose the sword. I mean, the pickaxe is more Minecrafty, isn't it? Because all the pictures, the guy's holding an axe. But I suppose now that you know how to do this one, you could then try this one yourself. But I might do this one in a future tutorial. Anyway, there you go. There it is. Done. Hey! TFI CAD tips! Simplifying shit down to the lowest common denominator, Minecraft. If you liked the video, do slap a like on it. Make sure you're subscribed. Go and check out the 3D mouse giveaway, which is still going. I'm on the race to 10,000 subs. Patreon link in the description down below if you want to help support the channel. I'll see you in the next video. Yeah, toodles.